Jasmine Caldwell wasn't running. Not exactly. But she was done with city noise, flashing lights, and the way people forgot your name minutes after learning it. Willow Glen, Kansas promised silence. Streets where everyone knew everyone. It sounded like a reset. A breath. Her house sat on a quiet street framed by maple trees and trimmed lawns. Modest, 2 stories, beige siding. It wasn't much, but it was hers. Neighbors waved, smiled, nodded. All except one. Marlene Kingsley. 3 houses down. Late 50s. Sharp haircut. Eyes that didn't blink enough. She didn't wave. She watched. Jasmine first saw her while unloading groceries. Marlene passed with a leash in one hand and a scowl on her face. Her dog, a wiry little thing, yanked hard toward Jasmine's driveway. "You knew?" Marlene's eyes scanned her up and down. "Yeah," Jasmine said, adjusting a paper bag. "Just moved in." Marlene didn't smile. "Hope you like it here. Tight-knit neighborhood." It wasn't a greeting. It was a warning. That night, Jasmine lay awake in bed, the sound of crickets outside her window. She couldn't shake that look, that voice. She told herself to forget it. The first week passed quietly. Jasmine worked remotely as an IT consultant. Long hours. Coffee. Code. Rinse, repeat. She needed strong internet, so she set up her own router, secured, encrypted, firewalled. Still, the connection felt off. Small things at first. Zoom calls freezing. Emails delayed. Her VPN dropping unexpectedly. Her fingers danced across the keyboard late into the night, trying to make sense of it. Then came the spike. She was running a diagnostic on her system when she noticed it, an unusual surge in network traffic. She opened her router dashboard. Buried in the device list was something strange. Unknown device _1287. Her heart ticked once, then twice. She clicked deeper. It had been connected for 3 weeks. Jasmine leaned back in her chair. A bead of sweat crawled down her temple. This wasn't a neighbor grabbing free Wi-Fi. This was someone quietly using her network, stealing it. She locked it down. New password. New encryption. Reset everything. That should have been it. But it wasn't. The next morning, her doorbell rang. 2 police officers. A tall one in uniform. A shorter one in plain clothes. "Ma'am," the taller one said. "We received a report. Possible disturbance." "From who?" "Marlene Kingsley," he said. "Said she heard shouting from your house late last night." Jasmine blinked. "I didn't shout. I live alone." The officer exchanged a glance with his partner. "Mind if we take a quick look around?" Jasmine stepped aside, heart hammering. They didn't find anything, but something in their posture lingered, like they weren't here just for noise. Before they left, the plainclothes officer turned back. "You know Miss Kingsley well?" "No," Jasmine said. "Barely spoke to her." "Keep it that way," he said under his breath before walking off. Jasmine couldn't let it go. That device had been accessing more than bandwidth. The logs showed consistent patterns, upload spikes, encrypted pings, redirected traffic. So she dug deeper. She traced data flows, mapped traffic paths, and what she found didn't lead to her. It led to other houses on her block. 5 of them. Someone had been using her Wi-Fi as a middleman, routing surveillance data, emails, cloud syncs, even private camera footage. She stared at the screen, breath shallow, mind racing. This was no accident. She walked to Marlene's house, not to confront her, just to see. The dog barked through the window. Curtains moved, but no one opened the door. Back home, Jasmine turned off her router. She installed a firewall appliance, military grade, something she'd only used once for a government client. Her laptop now showed nothing leaving her network until 2:07 a.m. A ping. Remote access attempt. It wasn't coming from her device. It was targeting it. She traced the origin. Marlene's IP. The next day they came back. The same 2 officers. More serious this time. "Need to talk," the taller one said. Jasmine nodded. "Let them in." "We visited Miss Kingsley," he said. Asked about her router. She seemed confused. Said she doesn't really use it. She didn't know where it was, the other officer added. "We found it unplugged in a kitchen drawer." Jasmine stared. "So she's lying?" "Maybe," he said. "But that's not the problem." He pulled out a small tablet, showing her a diagnostic image. Her router's ports were still open. Remote access enabled. Someone was controlling it externally. Jasmine stepped back. "And it wasn't just her," she said quietly. She turned her laptop toward them. The logs. The data paths. The timestamps. They're watching half the street, she said. The officer leaned in, scrolled. His jaw tightened. This is systemic, he muttered. Jasmine swallowed. I don't think she's working alone. He hesitated, then lowered his voice. Marlene's husband, Brady Kingsley. You seen him? Only once, Jasmine said. Late at night, watching from their garage. He used to work for a defense contractor, the officer said. Cyber ops, deep clearance, real ghost stuff. That changed everything. Later that night, Jasmine watched the neighborhood from her second-floor window. One porch light flickered. A black car turned the corner. A shadow moved near Marlene's backyard. She didn't sleep. By morning, Jasmine had a plan. She would go public. Get ahead of it. Use her professional credentials. Contact her tech journalist friend in Denver. But before she could finish drafting the email, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. No caller ID. She hesitated. Picked up. Nothing but breathing. Then a click. Her computer screen went black. She tried to reboot it. Nothing. She grabbed her phone again, hands shaking. The screen flashed. Device blocked. Network breach detected. Then her lights flickered. Once. Twice. Everything in her house shut off. She ran to the fuse box. Everything looked fine. No tripped switches. No power surge. She stepped outside. The neighborhood looked too quiet. No kids. No lawnmowers. No sound. Except for one. A soft, mechanical whir from above. She looked up. A drone. Small. Black. Watching her. She backed into the house. Locked the door. Heart pounding. Then, a knock. 3 sharp raps. She froze. Another knock. Heavier this time. Jasmine Caldwell, a man's voice called. I'm with the Department of Infrastructure Security. We need to speak. Now. She didn't move. He spoke again, quieter this time. We know what you found. Jasmine stared at the officer. Her mind raced. Marlene's husband. Government contracts. Cybersecurity. Remote access. This wasn't about a nosy neighbor anymore. This goes beyond your router, the officer said, eyes scanning her screen. We're pulling in a forensic team. Jasmine nodded slowly, but her stomach was in knots. Marlene hadn't just piggybacked on her Wi-Fi. They'd been watching everyone. Camera feeds. Emails. Bank accounts. The neighborhood wasn't tight-knit. It was wired. The officer stepped away to call dispatch. Jasmine shut her laptop. Her hands were shaking. Something didn't fit. Why call 911 over a changed Wi-Fi password? Why act clueless about her own router? It wasn't fear. It was a trigger. Something Jasmine had done, changing the password, maybe, set off a chain reaction. A failsafe. Like a tripwire. But for what? She didn't sleep that night. The next morning, the forensics team arrived. 2 men. 1 woman. Black SUVs. No logos. They moved fast. Quiet. Professional. They didn't speak to neighbors. They didn't ask questions. One wore a badge with a red stripe across it. Jasmine didn't recognize the agency. Not FBI. Not local. Something else. Jasmine watched from her window as they entered Marlene's house. The door had been left open. Marlene didn't answer it. By noon, rumors had spread. She fainted, a neighbor whispered. No, taken in for questioning, said another. But Jasmine knew better. Marlene was a piece. Not the player. And her husband? Nowhere in sight. The officer from the night before, his name was Daniels, returned later. We need you to stay off unsecured networks, he said quietly. Only use cellular data for now. He looked exhausted. What did they find? Jasmine asked. Daniels hesitated. They didn't find him, he said. Marlene's husband? He nodded. House was wiped. Not just electronics. Hard drives, flash drives, phones. Even cables were gone. Jasmine blinked. You think he ran? Daniels gave her a look. We think he activated something. That night, Jasmine's power went out. No storm. No warning. At first, she thought it was the grid. But then her laptop powered off. Her phone lost signal. Even the flashlight app glitched. Pitch black. She lit a candle. The air felt heavier. Her skin tingled. Something was in the house. A click came from the hallway. Then another. Light footsteps. She grabbed her phone, still dead, and stepped quietly to the hallway. Nothing. But the attic door was open. Wide. She hadn't touched it. She hadn't even used it. Jasmine called Daniels from her car once her phone returned to life. Signal returned the moment she stepped outside her property line. There's something in the house, she whispered. "We're en route," he said. "Do not go back inside." But she couldn't help it. She had to know. Had to see. Something was hidden here. Something Marlene, or her husband, didn't want found. She re-entered through the back. Her footsteps slow, careful. The attic stairs creaked as she climbed. At the top, an old filing cabinet, covered in dust. Locked. Beside it, something even more strange. A small black device. Unlabeled. Glowing faintly blue. A camera? No. It was broadcasting. She reached toward it, and it powered off. Seconds later, her phone vibrated. Unknown number. She answered. Static. Then a voice. "You don't know what you're doing." Click. Daniels and his team arrived 15 minutes later. He looked at the device and frowned. "Where was this?" "In the attic," Jasmine said. "I didn't put it there. We didn't detect this during sweeps." Daniels turned to his tech. They scanned the device. "No manufacturer," the tech whispered. "No ports. No ID. But it's sending something." "To where?" No answer. The file cabinet was forced open. Inside, papers. Real ones. Blueprints. Maps. Names. A single file stood out. A red stamp at the top, Silent Garden. "What is that?" Jasmine asked. Daniels froze. His eyes darted to the window. "You weren't supposed to see that." "What is it?" He took a deep breath. Silent Garden is a domestic surveillance protocol. Never went public. Cancelled 10 years ago. Or we thought it was. Jasmine's voice was barely a whisper. "Marlene's husband brought it back?" Daniels looked pale. "Or someone gave him access. They moved her to a safe house that night. No windows. No phones. No internet." Jasmine lay awake, heart thudding in the silence. Silent Garden. It wasn't a neighborhood spy ring. It was a beta test. What better place to test a surveillance program than a quiet suburban street? Low profile. Trusting people. Easy targets. They were never neighbors. They were subjects. The next morning, the agents were gone. Her door was ajar. She stepped into the hallway, calling for Daniels. Nothing. On the table, a USB drive. Labeled in handwritten ink. For her eyes only. She hesitated, then plugged it into the secure laptop they'd given her. One video file. It opened to a grainy feed. Her living room. Last night. While she slept. A figure stood at her bedroom door. Watching. Not moving. Then slowly, it turned to face the camera. Jasmine gasped. It was her. But not her. Same face. Same clothes. But wrong. The video ended. She sat in stunned silence. Then her phone, her new phone, one she hadn't turned on, vibrated. One new message. From unknown. "You shouldn't have looked." She turned to leave. The lights went out. Again. Jasmine blinked. "Gone." Daniels nodded. "Wiped clean. Professional." She felt her chest tighten. "He ran," she said. Daniels didn't respond. But his silence confirmed it. She glanced back at Marlene's house. Curtains drawn. Lights off. "Marlene," she asked. Daniels exhaled. "She's not talking. Keeps saying she didn't know." Jasmine frowned. "You believe her?" "No," he said flatly. "But I don't think she's the one pulling strings." That night, Jasmine paced. Something still gnawed at her. If Marlene's husband had control, why keep the router in her house? Why not run everything from his? Then it hit her. He didn't want his house traced. He used hers as a front. Jasmine bolted for her laptop. Logs. Patterns. Device IDs. She searched deeper, skipping official apps. Running raw queries through command lines and hidden tools. A string of remote ports showed repeated pings. Not just from nearby homes, but from across the state. She clicked one. Encrypted. Another. Blocked. Then a third, open. It connected. Barely. A grainy live stream flickered to life. A kitchen. A child's playroom. Another angle, someone sleeping in bed. Jasmine yanked off her headphones. Her skin crawled. This wasn't surveillance. It was control. She called Daniels. Voicemail. She texted, urgent. "They're still live." No reply. Her eyes flicked back to the screen. The feed was gone. Cut mid-frame. She checked the access logs. Someone else was in the system. She wasn't alone. Then a chime. New message. Unknown number. "You need to stop. You don't know who you're dealing with." She backed away from the desk. Her body tensed. Another chime. "You were never the target." What did that mean? Her hands trembled. She called Daniels again. No answer. She wasn't going to wait anymore. She grabbed a flash drive, dumped all logs, recordings, timestamps, everything. Threw on a hoodie, keys, bag. Time to go. Outside, the street was quiet. Too quiet. No porch lights. No movement. She reached her car and froze. The driver's side door was cracked open. She hadn't left it like that. Jasmine backed up slowly, then a rustle. To her left, a man stepped out of the dark. Tall, slim build, suit. No tie, no expression. "Jasmine Caldwell?" he asked, voice calm. She didn't answer. He reached into his coat slowly. She turned and ran. She didn't get far. Another figure appeared from the alley, woman, athletic, gloves on. They didn't chase her. They didn't need to. A van pulled up ahead. Black. Windows tinted. It screeched to a stop. Doors opened. Jasmine spun, bolting toward the nearest house, Marlene's. She banged on the door. "Let me in." Silence. Then slowly it creaked open. Marlene stood there, pale, still. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered. Jasmine pushed past her. "I saw everything," Jasmine gasped. "He's not working alone. He never was." Marlene's eyes welled. "He was trying to protect something." Jasmine turned to her. "No, he was covering it." Suddenly, a voice echoed from the back room. Low, calm. "You were warned." A man stepped into view. Older, silver hair, eyes like ice. Jasmine knew that face. She'd seen it in one of the leaked government files. Director of Infrastructure Cyber Oversight. Classified. "You were never supposed to see this," he said. Marlene collapsed to her knees. "I told him it would get out," she whispered. He ignored her. Jasmine gripped the flash drive tighter in her hand. "You can't hide it forever." He smiled faintly. "We don't need to. We just need to discredit you." Everything moved fast. Gloved hands. Duct tape. Darkness. She woke up in a cold room. No windows. Just humming servers. Her laptop sat across the room. Open. Flash drive gone. Then flickering screen. A video played. Her. In front of her laptop. Speaking angrily. Paranoid. Clips cut together. A voiceover followed. Unstable. Unreliable. Potential threat to digital infrastructure. She screamed. They weren't hiding the truth. They were rewriting it. Jasmine didn't know how long she'd been there. But she knew what was coming. They were erasing her. Her name. Her records. Her history. Everything. But as the screen flickered again, a single file blinked open. Hidden deep in the drive. It hadn't been deleted. Backdoor.txt. She smiled, bloody lip and all. She still had a way out.